What social customs do we need to retire? Touching pregnant women's stomachs without consent. Making couples feel obligated to have giant, fancy weddings. When people say, "You're too young to be hurting. Frock you, my back hurts." Having to purchase gifts for extended family that you cannot afford because it is Christmas or another holiday. Rest being seen as lazy. If I take a day off of work simply to sleep in and rest at home instead of having to have some sort of big plans or destination, it shouldn't be seen as anything less. Though it looks like this custom is fading away during the pandemic. But how about we stop glorifying us being model employees by showing up to work even while sick? I was at a retailer for 14 years, and I don't have enough fingers and toes to count how many times I used to see managers and supervisors dragging themselves to work while sick to please their superiors. In January 2020, I ended up getting the flu from a coworker that decided it would impress the store manager if she still showed up while sick with the flu. That culture went away real quick when we started getting COVID cases in the store I was at. And I too ended up getting a mild case of COVID. I've called out any time in the past when I felt sick, and I will continue to do so as I normally did. Worshipping celebrities. I don't get it, and it seems to just create tons of problems. That not having Facebook, Instagram, or other social media profiles is different, or isolationist in some way. The customer is always right. Being used as an excuse to be a frocking is whole. Pants, shorts without pockets. That because someone is family, you should force yourself to spend time with them and be nice and respectful. No matter what kind of person they are or how they treat you. This goes along with the enabling acceptance of, that's just how they are, rather than condemning poor behavior choices. In Denmark we have this tradition of throwing ground cinnamon and pepper at people who turn 25 and 30, respectively, if they are not yet married, except people often overdo it, strapping the victim to a street light and use an entire kilogram or more. It's harsh, stupid and wasteful. It really needs to stop. Expensive funerals. The funeral industry is insane. ETA. My first award. Thank you. Discussing salary with coworkers should no longer be taboo. Edit. Thanks for the award. Giving greeting cards for every single event imaginable. Why pay $5 to give someone a piece of paper that will get thrown out the next day? I'd rather you give me $5 and skip the card. Being nice to customers that act shitty. Putting the onus on the customer to tip the service staff, especially in the US. Stop overworking the service staff. Pay them a living wage. And if a customer does want to go above and beyond to reward someone for their outstanding service, they can do so, but are not obligated. Cashiers and other jobs not being allowed to sit down because it makes them look lazy. While I've got the spotlight, can we do away with minimum wage shouldn't be enough to live off of. 2. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Treating someone with extra deference or respect because of their social station or occupation. Just because someone is a politician, judge, a cop or owns a business shouldn't mean anything as far as social interactions go. As far as I'm concerned, everyone I meet gets a base level of respect, and they can earn or lose it by the way they behave. I think we would all be so much happier with a 4-day work week and 3-day weekend. That somehow the concept of maturing means you have to give up hobbies that are seen as childish. Sleep deprivation pride. I don't know why my coworkers are boasting that they slept 4 hours last night. Skirts are okay in a workplace, but shorts are not. Having all the fun prints and decor and whatnot only for kids, babies, nurseries. I want a dinosaur on my pillowcase saying, RAWRRR. Over some frockin' daisies every time. Stop questioning when we are having children. It's none of anyone's business. Celebrities being treated like gods and people caring about what they name their babies rather than what's being taught to their kids or what's going on in our government. Expensive funerals. Environment doesn't like this. The customer is always right. 9/10 the customer is an idiot as whole that can go frock themselves. Caste system in India. It's 21st century. And about 200 million untouchable people in India cannot have a normal life, normal career. They cannot even have justice in case a crime is committed against them. The garter tradition at weddings. I'll never unsee my brother reaching up his wife's dress in front of 3 generations of family. You're too old for bullshit. You're never too old for college, university, to change careers, to learn a new skill or to enjoy something new. It's your life. Boys don't cry. Over-the-top gender reveals parties. Diamond rings for engagements, they are a scam. And especially the 3-month salary custom is absurd. Not talking about salary. Plastic everywhere. Our food wrapped in plastic. Drinks encased in plastics. Asking, "How are you today?" and expecting the only socially acceptable answer. Associating relationships with fulfillment and suffering to being single. Making your kids hug, kiss people they aren't comfortable with. I have this cough, but I came to work anyway, because I'm so dedicated to my career. Working in an office when your job could be done remotely. The shame women have been taught to feel for having normal bodily functions and movements. Edit. Not just women, but everything and everyone. The belief that, I suffered through X, ergo younger generations must suffer through it too. Shouldn't we want our kids and those coming after us to have it better? Isn't that the point? How self-centered and immature are you, honestly? Shell companies with unlisted owners. Perfect attendance in school. Or being penalized for missing classes due to sickness. This creates perfect little diseases spreaders and future workaholics. This is also setting up a kid's life to be like what others mentioned in this thread this far. Coming into work sick, believing their work life is more important than home life, etc. Acting like everyone's opinion matters, is relevant. You have the right to your opinion. I have the right to think you're batshit crazy and pay you no mind. Peer pressuring into socially accepted but potentially dangerous activities. For example, in many countries in Asia, many circles expect you to drink alcohol with them. Even though it's slowly changing, there still exist severe cases like seniors physically forcing juniors to drink alcohol. Hierarchy, seniority in workplaces should be lessened as well. In some places, seniors hold way too much authority over juniors. Valentine's Day. I don't need one day a year to tell my good lady I love her or buy her things. Plus it usually interferes with our social lives, and the prices for meals are through the roof. 13th and the 15th of February are better to eat on. Tipping. Jobs should pay their employees enough. The whole man up concept. I'd rather my best friend cry and tell me they're not okay than watch them carried in a coffin. Asking women when they are going to have kids, implying that they are bad for not wanting them. Teaching kids super cutesy names for their genitalia to avoid awkwardness. Stop it with the cookie, and the wah-wah, and the wee-wee. I would for sure rather have my daughter scream angina in a crowded store because she doesn't know social graces yet than to not know she is being abused because the trusted adult she told doesn't know what your cutesy made-up words. I also don't want her to think parts of her body are too embarrassing to talk about if she has a problem. 40-hour work weeks. And having to show up to the office, only good thing that came of COVID. The endless requirement of having to buy your partner, family, or friends gifts, birthdays, Valentine's, Easter, anniversaries, Christmas. I went shopping with one friend around December when he was buying his girlfriend some things, and after spending over $200 he was still worried that he hadn't got her enough. Peer pressure to drink alcohol. Saying respect your elders as an excuse to make young people take abuse and endure uncomfortable situations. It's toxic and sick. Respect your elders. I must respect the neighbor who used to beat his wife. She left, and used to beat his dog. It was taken away. And openly hates Asians. Just because he's 76 years old, I must respect him. 2 weeks notice when leaving a job. Oh, you can fire me on the spot but expect me to give you a 2 weeks heads up? Big grassy lawns in drought-prone areas. Fear of calling out sick to work. Men are not capable of being good parents, do not love their kids as much, are probably sexual predators when seen alone with a child. Forced small talk. A woman needing her husband's consent to get her tubes tied.